I think the history of the Loews Regency defines who we are as an organization, but also who I think John Tisch is. It really was the place to be in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and it always had a different sort of iteration with each decade. In the late 90s and 2000, John was thinking to himself, I've got to do something major here. But the thought of really messing with his father's legacy, I think, just weighed heavily upon him. And so it took some time, about 5 or 6 years, to really get the right designer in place and then kind of pull the trigger on it. And it just took on a very different energy. Nothing that was dramatically different from what it was in the past, but it was sort of reborn.
We are at the start of a new look for the hotel, following a $100 million renovation. We wanted to create an impressive arrival experience, something that people were going to be wowed by, something very different from what was here before, which was much smaller, much less vibrant. Nina Helms, a Brooklyn-based artist, was commissioned to produce this beautiful plaster piece. It's a frieze of a dogwood tree in spring, with the breeze blowing the petals along the wall. There are 7 designs, and each of those individual flowers is picked out in nickel and represented across the wall. So it's a beautiful piece, and it really makes a statement as you walk into the lobby.
Art, of course, is a huge part of John Tisch's life, and I think that he wanted to bring in elements of that into the property, along with good design. And I think the two can coexist. They shouldn't feel contrived. It should actually speak to the room that you're in. And so I think when you're inside the lobby, you see elements of that.
Everything was custom designed for us. Our designer for our guest rooms was Rote Studio. The goal within the design was to hit a contemporary, yet really comfortable look, along with a residential feel, so that people feel like they're at home here. The look and feel was a nod to 1920s Art Deco in some of the design details, which is just so New York. You can see elements of the deco in the lines that you see drawn, but then in terms of the colors and the palette, it's very much more contemporary.
We really had a challenge at how would make people that have been coming here for years feel comfortable and that their beloved Regency was still here, as well as attract, some new blood. And I think it's happened. I really believe that the design, the art, the vibe, as it were, all sort of coexist together. You actually have a nice melange of different people, and it seems to work.